Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be men only care about sex. Well, I've got an email here from a woman who obviously feels that men only care about sex. But the reality is, in her dating life, is what she's focusing on. She's not seeing the guys that she dates and how their goals and values, their dating goals and values don't match hers. And so she, in essence, is trying to turn a guy who really is just a fuck buddy, who she met on a hookup website, into a relationship. And she's getting pissed off because she thinks all he cares about is sex. Even though it's a hookup website and people that are there that's really what they're looking for. And so what we have today is we have a woman who does basically the same kinds of things that a lot of the guys do who I answer emails with in other video newsletters, and that is she's projecting her dating fantasy and her relationship fantasy onto this guy, but she's completely ignoring the reality of what this guy really is and what he can really offer her. So it's like she sees him for the way he could be because that matches her fantasy, but she ignores the reality of what this guy is and what he continuously tells her. Men and women both are completely guilty of this. When we really want someone or we want something to be a certain way and that person or that set of circumstances isn't, you're going to suffer. So the real problem is that she's got a flawed approach in how she goes about her dating life. So I got a quote that I wrote on this topic. And then I also got a testimonial or actually a book review from a woman who, this is one of the reviews that she posted to Amazon.com. And it's just, the reason I want to go through this is because the way I look at it is all men and women should be reading my book. So women can understand themselves better, understand why they're attracted to certain qualities in men, so they can take control of that, so they're not hijacked by their emotions and making bad choices. And that's kind of the way this woman is. She's kind of becoming hijacked by her emotions and making bad choices. So after I got the quote I'm going to go through, then I'm going to read that quick review that was posted on Amazon.com about my book from a woman, and then we're going to go through this woman's email and critique and help her hopefully change her dating and relationship strategy so she can achieve her goals and objectives in her personal life. So the quote says, "Many women often complain that men only care about sex. It is true that some men are only interested in casual sex and dating affairs, but when a woman has a knowledge gap in her pickup dating and relationship knowledge, she will often consciously and unconsciously make bad choices in the men she chooses to date who are exactly the kind of men she's trying to avoid. Why? What you fear, you attract. The world would be a much happier place if everyone had a basic understanding of what causes, grows, and maintains sexual attraction in both men and women, why men and women do what they do in their intimate relationships and interactions, and how to consistently make the right choices to achieve their dating and relationship goals. When you continually are getting bad results in any area of your life that is important to you, you must realize that your strategy sucks and change your approach, or you will continue to get the results that you are not happy with." So what's interesting is this review that I'm going to go through. This woman actually came across my book in her boyfriend's closet. And so she's reading my book as he comes home from work one day and sees her reading it. And he's thinking, I thought you would have hated it. And she actually really liked it. So she said, this was her review. She said, "I found this in my boyfriend's closet one day earlier in our relationship. We just passed the 6-month mark. And I started reading it, wondering what it was talking about." She says, "Because 3% man just sounded like a strange way to put it. I was sitting on the couch when he came in from work later. And he told me he thought I would hate it because it is so blunt about women, or says that we are so predictable in many different ways. I told him I thought it was good so far, and that it's good for me to know what he has been reading about women so I can talk to him about whether I agree or not. The more I read through this book, though, the more I could check off that he had already done And it had worked. And the reason why was spot on. A lot of women read Why Men Love Bitches, but I think women as well as men should be reading this book. I absolutely agree with that. If they are serious about wanting a relationship that will last because of the things that are done right from the start. And so in her case, she can understand and see, look at the actions that her boyfriend does and understand how that affects how she feels about him emotionally. So from a woman's perspective, especially the woman that's written this particular email, if you understand what's going to cause you to feel attraction or be repulsed about a particular guy, then you're going to be able to read between the lines and know if you're making a good choice and if this particular guy you're thinking about dating or getting involved with is sincere and he really means what he says, because the guys have their shit together and know what they're doing are going to exhibit these qualities, and guys that don't, you'll be able to read between the lines before you get too emotionally invested in, like she has with this particular guy that she's written into me about. So let's go through the viewer's email who wrote to me in the first place and critique her approach to her dating and relationship life, which obviously she's not getting the results that she wants. So she says, Dear Coach, I've been following your videos, and there's one video about friends with benefits. I have a confusing situation where I need your opinion. I want to be married to or dating someone in a long-term relationship. So that's her goal. That's her objective. That's what her goals and her values are for her dating and relationship life. And that's good. It's important to know what you want. Because when you start dating somebody, you're going to make sure that what that person is looking for and what they can actually offer you are aligned. So she's, unfortunately, most men online only want to have sex. Well, I mean, quite frankly, that's a true statement, because every guy that's on an online dating site is interested in dating and having sex with women. I mean, it's not a roommate website. It's you date in order to eventually have sex. Maybe it evolves into a relationship. But the bottom line is, the whole reason for the dating site existing is because men and women are sexually attracted to one another. We're sexual beings. We all got here because of sex. That's the reality. And women like sex too. I mean, that's the reality of it as well. But if you're not choosing the right partners and your goals and values are not aligned, you're going to be very disappointed. She says, I find your videos a bit disappointing. Well, thanks for noticing. I don't deny sex with the right guy, but there's more to relationships than sex. Absolutely. And I can tell you definitely have not read my book yet. But let's not beat around the bush. The whole reason why you go out on a date is because there's sexual attraction there. And sex at some point is going to happen. Whether it happens when you're dating or when you move in together or you live together or on your second or third date or on your honeymoon night when you get married. Bottom line is men and women go out on dates because sex eventually is going to happen. They tend to like each other that way. Otherwise, what are you looking for, a roommate? You looking for a buddy, a friend? She says, most guys who ask me out want to hit the bed after the first date. This isn't what I want. Well, sex on the first date is not so much a bad thing, but if you're on a date with somebody who's exhibiting qualities and saying things to you that don't really ring true, and it doesn't sound like he means it, like he's just saying things to tell you what you want to hear, therefore he's exhibiting signs of somebody that's just looking to do a hit and run. If you can't determine that, if you can't tell if his intentions are true, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to be disappointed a lot. And again, by reading my book 10 to 15 times and knowing what to look for, you can tell when a guy's sincere and he really means what he says and he really cares about you, and it's not going to be just a wham bam thank you ma'am. And when he seriously wants to go out and spend time with you because he's looking for a relationship also. But at the end of the day, all relationships start out as casual affairs. They start out as hanging out, having fun, and hooking up. And eventually that becomes very frequent to the point where you're pretty much together all the time. And then, yeah, it makes sense to be exclusive. If you guys are having so much fun together that it's pretty much just the two of you always spending time together, then yeah, it makes sense. But that happens naturally, and that happens over the course of several months. It's not like you go out on one date and say, hey, let's get married tomorrow. She says, I want to have nice chats and get to know each other a few dates before sex. It's really about feeling safe and comfortable. If you really like a guy and he's knocked your socks off and you're knocking his socks off and you both feel like you've met the person that you're always looking for, then sex on the first date is magical. But if that connection and that chemistry is not there, then no, you're not going to feel it or even want to have sex on the first date. And guys who have lousy game, if you understand my book and if you're a woman, you'll be able to spot that. And you'll know that even if you're denying him sex in the first night, there's no reason to go out on a second or third date and give him that chance, because he's just looking for a booty call in essence. Anyway, I finally signed up for a hookup site. Remember what her outcome was? She's looking, I want to be married to or dating someone in a long-term relationship. That's her goal. And she joins a hookup site. The goals and values of the people that sign up on that site are not aligned with her own, so that's her first mistake. I mean, think about it. You fish in a sewer, and then you're mad that the fish tastes bad. You probably shouldn't be fishing in a sewer. I'm so fed up with the dating game where everything is the same. I knew you're going to laugh at me, but I just thought, what the heck? It's all the same. Hookup sites and regular dating sites are the same. Why do men lie to get girls on regular dating sites instead of just going on hookup sites? Well, sometimes a guy goes out on a date with a girl and he may like her enough to have sex with her, but he's really not digging her enough to want to have a relationship. And then there's other guys that don't have very good game, and the more they hang out with a girl, the more they settle. That's why it's so important for men and women both to be able to read the other person, to be able to look at their actions and understand what they mean, to understand how somebody who's sincerely interested in you and who you are is going to want to get to know you personally. They're going to ask you about your hopes, your dreams. They're going to ask you the kind of questions that you enjoy answering. Somebody that's just trying to get in your pants is not. He's going to be blowing a bunch of sunshine up your ass and making a bunch of flowery promises, but he's not going to be taking the time to really get to know who you are. A guy who's comfortable in his own skin and feels good about himself is going to be and who's confident and who gets women and gets dating, he's going to be taking up too much space, like he's sitting there like the king of his kingdom. He's going to feel comfortable. He's going to feel secure. He's not going to be in a rush. He's going to enjoy making love when it happens, but he's not worried about it because making love always happens at some point. So what he's able to do, men that get it, just like James Bond does, is to focus on living in the present moment and just enjoying a great conversation, a nice glass of wine or a good coffee or a good tea, or just good conversation in a nice atmosphere where you're genuinely enjoying getting to know one another. People who care ask specific questions just like a good friend or family member would when they want to know what you've been up to, or what your hopes are, what your dreams, or how your new job is going, or why you got into that, or why you chose to major in whatever it is you majored in college, what you like to do for fun, what your hopes are, what your dreams are, what makes you happy, what's the craziest thing you ever did. People that don't care don't ask those things because they don't fucking want to know. Well, anyway, my story is I met this guy on a hookup site and we've been out to lunch. He told me up front that he's interested in a friends with benefits, no strings attached relationship only. Remember, what's her goal? She wants a relationship. So here it is, and right up front, I'm just looking to get laid. And she's on a hookup website. Pretty obvious, right? But when you're emotionally invested in somebody, you miss that fact, even though they told it. Because why? She sees what she wants to see, not what he's trying to communicate to her. It's like Stephen Covey said, most people listen with the intent to reply, not to understand. Due to the fact that he travels places and he doesn't want to get tied down. Well, a guy like that, that's all you can have. it's totally possible that maybe someday it turns into something more serious. But remember, you got to love in such a way that the person you love feels free. So this guy's got to feel like he's got the ability to kind of come and go as he pleases. So let him do all the calling, texting, and pursuing. And if you want to hang out and have fun and hook up from time to time, then by all means, do that. And if you're not cool with that, then don't spend another date with this guy, because he says he just wants to hook up. You say you're looking for a relationship. She says, after the lunch, she followed me home and we had sex. Why does it always have to be about sex? Yet she has sex on the first date. Makes total sense, doesn't it? Saying one thing, but doing another. Why do you think Sigmund Freud was like, the one question, at the end of his life, he's like, the one question I've been unable to answer is, what the hell it is a woman wants? She said, we did this 3 times and I started to feel an attachment. Well, that's the thing. Your emotions got engaged. And instead of looking at the reality of the situation, you allowed your emotions to hijack you. And because you emotionally started experiencing a fantasy and a love story, you completely discarded the fact that he said, hey, I'm just looking for good sex and a good time. She says, I can't help it. Yes, you can. You're just making a conscious choice to lose control and be hijacked by your emotions. I just think sex is something special to give to someone I like. Yeah, that's why you had sex with him on the first date. Obviously, you liked him. And he talked you into it. Or he didn't talk you out of it. Let's put it that way. The problem is you're not mad about having sex. You're mad about the fact that you had sex with him and he doesn't want any more than what he said he wanted originally. She says, not to have it for free, and so I'm confused. Well, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? Because he's getting the milk for free anyways. Why should he buy the cow? Then I started to ask him more about himself and tried to get to know him more. So now she's making an effort to make him feel more like she cares about him. Is she doing that because she really cares or because she wants a relationship? Sounds like it might be a little bit of horse trading going on there. The whole purpose of a relationship is you go there to give. You're there to help each other grow and become more. You want a relationship. Well, hang out, have fun, and hook up with this guy whenever he's around. And in the meantime, be looking for that next great love of your life. And if you can't handle just having casual sex with this dude, I mean, you've had it several times with him, so obviously you must be enjoying it. But if that's just not working for you, then don't have sex with him anymore. And don't spend any more time with him. And stop trying to think that you can change this guy. All you really can do is love him when he's around. And when he's not, be looking for the type of guy who has the same goals and values that you do. You should be on like an eHarmony type of dating website or a Match.com, not a fucking hookup website. I mean, come on. That's like going to the Super Bowl and being pissed off that LeBron James isn't playing. He's an executive for a software company, single, 46 years old, divorced, and has no children. I want to check online about his identity, and I don't want to just believe people, so I asked him his last name. I got his birthday because he told me over lunch. He got really pissed at me and wanted to end the relationship. Remember, he just wants a casual affair, and now you're getting all up in his business and wanting to do background checks on him and stuff. I mean, he's communicating what he wanted, but you were only interested in getting what you wanted and replying to what he said. Instead of actually listening, you're focused on getting what it is that you wanted. I mean, you don't go to a Ferrari dealership and then cuss the guy out when they say we don't have any Honda Priuses. That's just not we don't sell those cars here. He thought I wanted money and expected to have nice vacations and things because he thinks women on hookup sites are all prostitutes. Yeah, that guy sounds like a great candidate for a husband. I got really mad at him for thinking that way, and I told him that I have no intention of asking for money or expect things from him. He injured my pride, and I broke up with him. So you punished him because he pissed you off. Sounds like a great idea. Shortly after that fight, I closed all my profiles on online dating and hookup sites. I cried so much, and I felt really hurt. Well, again, you're going on a hookup website looking to meet the next great love of your life when people are just on there simply to get laid. You got to go think about it. And I talk about guys about this a lot who are trying to meet women to date. It's about having a great life and enjoying your life and doing things with like-minded people who share the same goals and values. So in your free time, you should be going out and doing activities and hanging out in the kind of places that you enjoy and you're happiest with the kind of people you enjoy doing those activities with. And as a side effect of doing that, because like attracts like, that's how the universe works, eventually you will meet a guy who shares the same goals and values. Who knows, maybe he'll be the next door neighbor or the brother of a girlfriend of yours or a cousin or a nephew of a friend of yours, or you just never know where you're going to meet that person. That's why it's so important to immerse yourself in activities and social functions with the kind of people who have the same goals and values as you do, because like attracts like. People who like the same things tend to like each other. You obviously like sex, but you want a relationship. And this guy obviously likes sex, but he's just looking for sex only. And so you go on a hookup website and you're upset that this guy doesn't want anything more than just casual sex. And the more you try to lock a guy like this down to a commitment, the more he's going to bounce on you. Shortly after that, he texted me back and he wanted to see me just to be friends only and to help me with my music career. Well, that's when you say, I'm not interested in something that's strictly platonic. He thinks I should be teaching piano at home since I play well and I can make money out of that. It makes sense, but the truth is he's giving you advice that you probably didn't ask for. Because if he really understood how to communicate with women, he would say, do you want my opinion? Or you just want me to listen when you talk about these things? She says, the truth is, this is just an excuse to see each other. So we did, and we had a nice lunch, but I've been really reserved and withdrawn. He bought me an Android tablet and hopes I can search for students and place ads online, etc. After lunch, we had makeup sex. So he bribed you for sex with a tablet. All right. Sounds like horse trading to me. Hey, you gave me a tablet? I'll give you some pussy. After lunch, we had great makeup sex, and it was really good, although I still want a relationship. Well, that's not what he's looking for. Not just friends with benefit stuff. Well, I look at your actions, and, well, he's saying all I can offer is friends with benefits, and obviously he knows you want a relationship, but the bottom line is your goals and values aren't aligned. So he's a great fuck buddy until you find the guy that you really want. I really like him, and I'm kind of sad I didn't get what I wanted. Well, you got laid. You got a happy finish, hopefully. We did talk about the fight, and he admitted he overreacted, and he felt he was wrong about me. I have no intention to use him at all. What I really want is a nice boyfriend who meets my standards, and I hope it could grow into something more. That's why you should keep your options open, and may the best man win. So I would put your profile on dating websites only, not fucking hookup websites. He has been really nice and more concerned about my life and me. I can see he's changed his attitude. I don't want to pressure him, but my hope isn't there. Again, I wouldn't reach out to him or do anything because he's shown that he'll reach out to you. And if you want to get together and hook up from time to time and have a nice session of the Indoor Olympics and get your needs met and satisfied until you meet the next great love of your life, then he's perfect for that. He's a placeholder. He's a placeholder dude. I took him to the airport for a trip, and he told me that he would contact me whenever he could. Honestly, I think I have too many hopes. No, your job, what you really need to focus on is seeing life, your reality, and this particular relationship with this guy for what it is. Not worse than it is or better than it is, but as it is. And you're consistently seeing this relationship for what it is not. You're seeing this relationship as being more than it really is. It's a friends with benefits. But you're suffering because you want it to turn into a relationship. Because you got a guy you got chemistry with, you got sexual chemistry with, you obviously enjoy hanging out. So just hang out, have fun, and hook up. And keep your options open. And date as many guys as you can. Because obviously he's probably doing the same fucking thing. Just make sure you practice safe sex with the dude. I'm afraid I won't get what I want. Well, what you fear, you attract. But what you look at disappears. and I really don't want to get hurt. Oh, one more thing. I am a single mom of two, an 8-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. He also mentioned that I should just concentrate on my music career and my kids, and one day someone will come along. I hope it will be him. Well, I wouldn't. Don't focus on the person. Focus on your outcome. Your outcome is you want a great relationship. Great relationships come as a result of hanging out, having fun, and hooking up on a consistent basis, slowly over time. So keep your options open instead of trying to put all your eggs in one basket with your fuck buddy, because that's what he really is. He's your fuck buddy until he shows you that he can be more than that. But he's told you that he can't be more than that. He doesn't want more than that, and he showed you numerous times that he doesn't want more than that. Remember, you got to love in such a way that the person you love feels free. So let him come and go as he pleases, and who knows, maybe he'll start sticking around more and more and making more and more of an effort to spend time with you. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. Focus on keeping your options open until either this guy makes you or asks you to be exclusive or to get serious with you, or you find a guy who wants to be with you as much as you want to be with him. The bottom line is you're more into this guy than he is into you. That's the reality of it. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.